Good afternoon and welcome to Carnation Crafts TV. We're live in the Carnation Crafts TV studios, which is always very exciting. And we are here today with Grace and Calm. So this is the second of two shows and we're having a look at the beautiful, beautiful Grace and Calm collection. We do also have today's deal of the day as well, which is very exciting, which is the ornamental fish or the koi carp. So we will be having a look at both of those. We've also got the 3D backgrounds, so we're going to have a look at those as well, and we're hoping to get some demos in today. So we only managed one demo this morning. We would like to get more in this afternoon if we can. So I will not go over quite as much detail as I did this morning, but if you do want to catch up on that and you missed it earlier, just hop on to YouTube and it'll be on there. Just so you all know, today is the last day on YouTube for subscribing, and we're going to announce the winner on Monday of a £500 prize for the Carnation Crafts website. In order to be in with a chance of winning that, you need to go to YouTube, as you see on your screen there, type in Carnation Crafts TV and hit that red subscribe button. It's free to subscribe, you don't need to pay anything. It just means you'll receive information that we're going live, and if you're signed in, you'll see a little bell, which means you can hit that and you'll get notifications when we go live, but we will not, by any stretch of the imagination, poke you at 2 in the morning. You'll be pleased to know. You also need to go onto the Facebook brand page, so that is Carnation Crafts on Facebook, and like the original post with that competition, share it and just tag a friend in it, and that then once we've been started to collate all that detail over the past couple of days, so all of that will be collated over the weekend, and then on Monday we'll announce one UK winner of £500 worth of vouchers and one international winner of Did you see how professional I was then, Taz?
No.
I was really professional for about 3 minutes. Did you like it? Anyway, it'll all be announced on Monday, probably with Dave Bradford, because I think my professionalism just went out the window. They won't let me do it. Hello, lovely people. I've got you on my Facebook here. Nails stayed on. Look, I've got fingernails. They're not mine. They're plastic and they came out of a box this morning, but I do not have black covers on my finger for the first time, probably in about a year. So this is really exciting. I have got absolutely 0 fingernails underneath here, so it's just sticking to my skin. So if they ping off and a little black cover comes on, you all know why, but it's nice to have them out. It's really lovely to speak to you on Facebook. Please put some comments on. I will try and see as many as I can. I've got it all sitting here so I can talk to you. But let's talk about Grace and Calm. So this was launched exclusively a couple of weeks ago, and so now we have it exclusively on our website, which is now the only place that you can purchase it. And it's on at £109.99. You've got free UK P&P, and the item code for this is 220401, and that is for the main collection. If you want to have a look at the 3D backdrop bundle, which is 2 separate pieces, and we'll have a look at those on the boards in a little while. The number for those is 220410, and you can also look at today's deal of the day, which is the ornamental fish or the koi carp, and that is 220428. So we're going to have a look at all of them. There are also the perfect papers as well, and that is 220413. What I will say about the perfect papers and why I wanted to bring them up actually is just to do with postage. Carnation have been trying to work out the best way to ship these abroad, because you can imagine the cost is very extensive at the moment. So the way they're doing it is, if you're buying this internationally and you're just buying the Grace and Calm bundle, it will be £4.95 postage. However, if you want to stick a pack of papers in there, then you can add that, and they will just add another £10 for the postage, so it would be £14.99 altogether. Now, what Carnation have agreed, because I had kind of said to them, well, what if they don't want the perfect papers, but they might fancy some perfect smooth or some pro print or something like that instead. And so they've agreed it doesn't matter which papers. However, the website will be set up for you to put in perfect papers with the bundle. If you decide you want something other than those perfect papers, just write it in the notes and they'll swap it before they send it to you, so you'll get the right one. But it will go through as perfect papers. You must put a note of what you want on there. So that's all the housekeeping out of the way, I believe. Is that right, Miss Taz? Have I done the housekeeping?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll go on and we'll have a look at these gorgeous boards. I'm going to do Grace and Calm first. We're going to have a look at these because they are so incredibly beautiful. Now, this launched a couple of weeks ago, like we said, and it just flew out. It's just so pretty, isn't it? There's something really special about it. It's very different to anything that Carnation have released before, but it still goes in with all of those other collections. Humberta, hello Carla, so lovely to see you. Love the new nails, the new fake nails. Yeah, it feels very weird to have nails and I can't pick anything up, which I can't anyway, so I'm no worse off than I was. They just look prettier. Right, so we have the boards here, and this is for Grace and Calm. So as always, Carnation bring you one of those really special card shapes, you know, really stunning. They always do it. They knock it out the park. All of these little red lines here signify a piece of metal within that pack. So all of these are your mats and layers. So this outer die here, the most outer layer die, that is your card shape. So we cut that twice and that provides us with a card base. Actually on this one you only need to cut it once. I'm just used to cutting them twice because this is your gatefold. So obviously it would be the other way around and these come over. What we can do is cut off the top and the bottom and just use this main shape here. So it becomes like a curvatured DL, which is really, really pretty. So lots of different ways. Then we've got all the filigree, and the whole point of this is you choose which one of these layers you want to add and which ones you don't. So you don't have to use all of them. They look insanely awesome when you do, but you don't have to. You can just use bits and bats. You can use white on white. You can choose it with papers. You also get your bamboo, your clouds, your ribbon, your leaves, and your little raindrops there. So there's nothing sort of missing in that collection. And just to let you see, that's enormous. That is such a massive amount of metal, isn't it? So you will need an A4 cutting machine for those. It won't go through anything smaller, just so you know. A4 is the key. So that's the main gatefold, gateway, gate. There's lots of gates and then it's a card shape.
Gateway gatefold.
It's a what?
Gateway gatefold.
Gateway goat, no.
Not go, gateway gatefold.
There are no goats in my cards today. That is not what it is. And then we have got Elegance and Grace, and she is just so stunning. She's so pretty. And she's really special when you put her on a card. There's something very iconic about her, and when you see her on a card, and hopefully we'll have time to demo her later on, but when you see her, she is literally so graceful. Just really beautiful. Again, you get your mats there as well, so you can make a card just out of that one shape. Going forward, we've got Perfect Pebble. Look.
Marge.
Eh?
Marge.
Marge. This is Margaret, or Marge for short. She's got the beautiful little love hearts, which you might remember from other Carnation collections. They peek in every now and again. This is the thing with Carnation. It's really important to remember every single collection you buy, you can mix it in with all the other collections that you've got. So if you think of Fresh Blooms, something like that, this would fit in perfectly. It's all about mixing and matching. So we say that they're collections, and that's because they are sold as a collection, and yes, there is a theme that runs through, but in actual fact they work together. So it's all your bits and bats coming together. We like that, don't we? We like that. Eastern accessories. So we're going to have a look at this today. We will be having a look at the elements from this. You've got this beautiful fan. Now, I was saying earlier, I'm not sure because I haven't actually taken the time to do it, but I'm pretty sure you could concertina that into an actual fan because each one of those lines is a cut line, which means it bends. So you would be able to concertina it and then have it, that would be beautiful on a card, sort of up, down, up, down, up, down, if you know what I mean. Really, really pretty. You've got the gorgeous hairpins. I love those. And that colour is just stunning. And then you've got that beautiful ribbon, that kind of movement, that flow that then comes into your cards. we have got the Serenity Tree, one of my favourites out of this collection because A, it's very diverse. We can do an awful lot with it. If you want to cut the roots off to use it as a sort of smaller piece at the bottom, you absolutely can. You can have it on an angle covered and use it just as like an embellishment, a bloom coming out. We can cut certain pieces away and use it as a corner aspect. There's loads of ways to use that. Plus you obviously get your mat as well. So yes, it can be something on its own. Just pop, cut that twice, score across, bit of red liner tape, put the two together, put that on top, and a sentiment, you've got a really stunning card. I love, 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 love this collection. Then we've got the ginkgo leaves, and we looked at these earlier, but man, are these stunning. Really beautiful. Hey Judy, hi guys, just made it. Nails looking good. Thanks Judy. Hey Sue, I've got you all on here. So today is the first day where I've been able to have you next to me. So it's really exciting because I can speak to you all and say hello. So I've got friends now, Taz.
You don't need me anymore.
I don't need you anymore. I've got friends. But I think we like having Miss Taz in the room. One day we'll bring her on camera and you can meet her, so you know that it's not just the people in my head. So with these, we've got what's called light work. And light work is something that Carnation do a lot of. So it's this kind of skeleton, can you see? And there's over a period of collections, they've brought more and more of this in. And you can use them individually and they look beautiful, or we can layer them on top of another piece and they're a perfect match. And that's what these ginkgo leaves are. You see it coming, this is just stunning. I love that. So I really do. It really reminds me of an enamel pin. There's something very rich, very elegant about it. And I love it very much. So I'm really pleased that they brought that out this time. And it adds such a richness to those leaves as well. So that's the ginkgo leaves.
That's my card of the day.
Oh, my card's the other one with the fish.
Oh.
Oh!
We have to show that again. It's amazing.
We'll show that again because it was magic and I got all excited. So then we've got here your beautiful florums, your climbing blossoms, which are gorgeous. And so obviously they're designed that you can have them upright because they're climbing blossoms, or down and they can cascade. Either way they work, and they work beautifully. So when we parry them in opposite sides on our card and we draw in that focal point, there's something incredibly delicate about it, which is really, really pretty. But they've got all the colourways. So you get 3 colourways for these. So you've got your purples, your whites and your pinks. They all work together. They all blend in with your perfect papers and your vignettes. And I'll talk to you about the vignettes in a second. And then we've got the second set, and I'm sure these have all got lovely names. We can make them up. We don't know the names.
Draping Wisteria.
Eh?
Draping Wisteria.
Is that a real name or have you made it up?
That's the real name.
This is called Draping Wisteria.
Yes. Do you not believe me?
I don't believe you. This is Draping Wisteria. We'll go with it because my name was Bob. So yeah, this sounds better. So Draping Wisteria is very, very pretty. I love this one. Now, I love them all, but the pinks on this are so sharp. They're so, so beautiful. And I love the way they blend in with those whites and the greens. Just brings everything together, doesn't it? And I'm a big fan of pink and green together. There's something really pretty about it. Obviously, they're opposite on the colour wheel, so they were bound to work together, weren't they? So that is the Grace and Calm collection. You can see why everybody went nuts for it, because it is absolutely gorgeous. And it's nice to have something that's just slightly different on the market. And then we come to those 3D backdrops, which I love. I love, 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 love. So these are clever. So this is where Carnation take things to a different level, and they start to engineer and they start to make things in a way that aren't necessarily, I don't know, accessible, I suppose, on the market. There's not many of them. I'm stealing that, Taz. Sorry. She's throwing her hands up like this in the air because I'm ruining her shot. I do apologise. I needed it more. So I want to show you how these work. You have these beautiful backgrounds here. This is your artwork, and so you've got all the artwork that you can download from the website. These are your vignettes, and then they have these beautiful little sort of, it's not a mechanism, but that kind of thing. Let me get my pokey. So if you can see, They each pull up, and I'll show you that how it works. Now this one is one solid piece, as you can see. You then get your outside die here, which makes your card base. Then you've got your mat, and then you've got this main piece on the center. And super pretty it is. And I said this morning, look how gorgeous it is in white. And no matter what you put behind it, if you've got gold card behind it, it's going to shimmer behind it. If you've got some glitter card, if you've got tiny lights so that light will shine through, all of the things that you can do, put in acetate and playing with acetate over the top of it. So you've got that kind of dome that goes into it. So many pretty ways of doing it. And then we've got the ginkgo one, the circle one. I'm going to show you this in the first demo that I do because I think it's really important to see it in action. But if you look at it, you can see there's a die in the center. The second die is here. This is your third die. That is your fourth die, your fifth die, and your sixth die. So you get the 6 dies in here. Now, under no circumstances are you forced to use this one, which is the nearest one, if you like, to the actual die. If you do, it cuts your card topper, this piece, in that shape. If you don't, and you use that on an 8 by 8, all the corners would just remain blank, and you would have that beautiful pattern in the middle. So it's almost like an embossing, but you'd be able to lift up all of the individual leaves such as these and create a pattern. And man alive, when that comes together, is that not the most beautiful piece? I mean, this is just look at that, it's so gorgeous. And if you look at it here cut in different colors, so instead of going with white on this one, we're going with that beautiful vivid green with the gold, and it is so pretty. And it's just all that dimension, isn't it? Dimension's so important. So I really love that one. I don't know who's made that one. I'll give it a look. Janine, there you go, Janine. What Janine's done on each one of these is just put the tiniest blob of pin flare so they can't come down. They're absolutely stuck where they are, which is just such a fabulous idea. And it does work as an easel card. Can you see that? Simple as that. Beautiful, absolutely stunning. Now, what we can also do with that, though, is not to cut all of those 3 panels. And if I can find the card I was looking at earlier, I might not be able to because I'm going to destroy the set. Let me see. Here we go, Taz. Wish me luck, Taz. If it's all destroyed, it's up to you to pick it up. So if you don't use this piece, and we just use your outside pieces and the 2 innards or one of the innards, can you see, look how pretty that is? You get, that was that your tummy? There you get all of these pieces here. Really pretty, right? So that is the 3D backdrops. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Now we're going to have a look at the fish because we're going to demo with the fish first, and we're going to pretty much go straight in with a demo for it. But I am going to bring in some pieces from Grace and Calm as well. But I want you to see it. It's the deal of the day, and we are on very, very limited stock, I've got to tell you. So we're going to have a look at the 3D backdrop, that ginkgo circular one first. Now I'm just going to take this. And I've got 2 of those cut, the outside layer. I can't get used to having nails now. And I have folded it there. On the Ginkgo 3D, you've got 4 sides that are almost straight there. I know they're curvy, but they're very specific with those 3 little bumps. And so we fold it on those. We then shuffle the next one together, make sure they are kept together, butt it up against your silicone mat if you've got one. Push that down, that's your temp base, absolutely complete. Now what I'm going to do in this demo for very specific reason is go for very little in the way of colour. So I'm going to predominantly keep this white on white. There will be colour in it, but I want to show you then how those fish pop, and they really do pop. So what I've done is taken one of the free backing papers off the website. The website for Carnation Crafts is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk, and when you go on there you can select your downloads, and one of the download options is going to be backing papers, and they're completely free for you to use. Free angel policy, you can sell what you make. Now I'm using 3mm foam pad, and for those of you who know me well, you will know why I use a chunkier foam tape, and that is because I like shadow. And when we use something that's got some depth to it, you'll gain that shadow. So I'm just going to turn this just this way so I can get that the right way round. When you are placing and you're at home, I'm having to use the monitor, but always make sure you sort of put your head straight over the top and look directly down, and you'll know if it's straight or not. I can't do that because of the camera, but just so you know that it's a straight flat down. Now obviously that's not plain white. I do have a lot of accent colour there, and I don't want to keep the accent colour. I just want a hint of it. So what I'm going to do, or what I have done, is cut my next mat, but all I did was put the middle piece in. I didn't use the very centre piece, and I didn't use the outside piece. I just wanted that little sort of focus on there, just for a little bit of dimension. Foam tape on the back, put in strategic places. So instead of the 3 strips that you would normally see me do, I've left these so that I can punch them out. And all I'm going to do is quite literally punch them out. And when we turn this over, now because I'm using 3mm foam tape, the lift that I'm getting between my backing paper and my die and these punched out shapes is just beautiful. I've got glue on the end of my pokey tool, Taz, and it's sticking. Is it a bad workman that blames his tools? Is that what my nanny used to say? Look how pretty that is. Just the smallest amount of effort to create something extraordinary. Now, when you see this with those fish on, this morning we used the it was close, it was close. We used the pink fish this morning, and there's a pink one and an orange one when we're talking about the colourways of the vignettes there. And so on this one, I'm going to use the orange. I'm just poking. It's nice to have nails. I can poke stuff. Hold on. Wait. I'm getting there and getting there. I mean, that's going to have to be as good as I can get it without leaning right over the top and putting my rather grey hair in front of you. So let's have a look at these fish. That's one of the orange ones here. And we've got the pink. I just wanted to show you both colourways of those so you can see how they come. Aren't they pretty? They're so vivid. I do love it when Carnation go to town. So I'm going to create some symmetry on this, and I want to use the orange against the green because the colour together is just phenomenal. But I don't want to overlay it. I don't want to put too much on it because those fish are enough. They're statement enough. So all I'm going to do is use the hairpins from Grace and Calm, and I'm just going to place them at opposing sides. Now, I'm not going to give these any height. I don't want dimension, so it won't be, you know, in previous times you will have heard me talking about this. I normally like to dome things, shape things, sculpt things. I don't want any on this. I'm going to lay them flat here. I'm going to use a wet glue, so this is my everyday glue. And I'm just going to place this here. I'm just having a look at Facebook while I'm doing this. Absolutely stunning and gorgeous. I'm assuming you're talking about the collection and not my good self or Miss Taz. We'll just take it, Miss Taz. We'll take it. It's fine. It's fine.
It's a compliment considering they haven't seen me. They just know.
They just know by your vibrance through the screen. Now I'm absolutely going central with this. So where that curvature is on the middle dome there, I'm just placing that, and I'm going to let that sit forward. And I'm going to do exactly the same on the opposite side. And those greens are now coming together with that backing paper, which is really important. I don't want that backing paper to kind of be the star of the show. But by adding this colour in, I'm drawing it towards the centre of the card. So the backing paper makes absolute sense. And then I'm doing exactly the same on to the side. And just place it and make sure they are flat. Okay, so we've got those going inwards. Now obviously that's slightly too plain. I want something more, but I'll come to that in a second. I want to concentrate on my fish. Talked about this morning, about shaping them out. The ball tools. Really important, your ball tools, if you want to make more of your dimension. You don't have to. My only thing on that is, why would you have them and not make the most of them? And for the sake of a ball tool, you can do so much. Choose the size of the ball tool that you want to use and make sure it matches in with the space that you're doing. So the bigger the space, the bigger the ball tool. Humberto, love the fish. Purchased the dye yesterday and just downloaded all the vignettes for it. Yeah, absolutely. The fish has gone down a storm today and there's not many left in stock, I have to say. So if you do want to grab hold of it, it is an ideal time to do it. It's exclusively with us. Your number for it is 220428. And it is today's deal of the day. So I don't know how long it will stay at the price it's at. So I'm just shaping out his body here, and you notice I'm pretty much avoiding that middle centre fin because I don't quite want that to go in. So I'm doing that, and then I'm just going to take the tiny one. I'm not going to do this on both fish because it'll take too long, but I'm just going to do his little eyes just to give that some more dimension, and his snout. Do fishes have snouts? Fishes don't have lips. Fishes and chickens don't have lips.
Chicken lips?
Chicken lips. I don't think chickens have actual real lips. Just, you know, so you know.
I went silent then, so it made it seem like we're thinking.
I was just thinking, I'm very glad Richard Attenborough's not watching this. Right, I'm just shaping that with my pinkins, just to give him some extra dimension. And I'll place this onto here. Now he's going to curve. He's going to create that motion around that centre. And when you see him go on and you see that colour, this is so beautiful. And a lot of this is to do with having that white background. If you've got a really vibrant dye, a white background will never see you wrong. So I'm just placing, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Do you not think, stop laughing in the background. Do they not think that it looks really real? They're so beautiful. I love the fact that we've got fish. I love fish. I think they're really pretty. So, same again. I'm going in a bit quicker this time. Don't, when you're at home, take your time. So I'm just using the bigger end of my ball tool because I'm doing a large surface area. And then I will take the small one. Even when I'm rushing, I would never use an enormous ball tool in a small area. It won't work. It will ruin the work that you're doing, just so you know. But even the smallest amount of shaping out will make an extraordinary amount of difference to your cards. And I'm just going to shape him. You see where those lines are, where his little nose curves in here. We're making use of those. They're there for a reason. That break that comes from that fin in his back, again, there for a reason. So we can shape and sculpt and mould. Everything is done on purpose. So we utilise them. Ooh, that was my pin flare, not my knees. And then we're just going in here. Just make sure he's roughly symmetrical. Like that. And then I'm just going to go in here now with, if I can get my nails to work. It's like relearning this, and then I just want a finishing touch. Look at those colours. That is so pretty. Those oranges and those greens coming together. But let's give one last touch. My ball tool is just sat in my whole glue. Oh well. One day I think I'm going to be a grown-up. But not yet. I don't want to be a grown-up. You can't make me. Oh no, the boss is watching. Hello, Miss Carla and producer Taz. I am a grown-up and I am very professional.
That's what I was trying
If everybody would like to write, a comment on Facebook saying how professional this is, that would be great.
Especially Tasman.
No, not especially Tasman. Hi, Mr. Mark. So we're just putting some flowers there. I put my professional voice.
Do you have one?
No. I just put some flowers there to add in to that kind of flurry that comes out of the side, and all that does is draw the eye, so we've got that line going across. Just really beautiful. Look at those fish. I think they're knockout, and I think because it's a Crafters Select die, so it's never going to be available anywhere else, and I love it when they do these Crafters Select dies, because there's something, it means you're in the club. I like that. I like the fact that, you know, you're getting something really special, and I don't know, I love them. And then just to see these come in, so it works with Grace and Calm. What I will say is, especially with the ornamental fish, it goes with so many collections. So please don't think you're stuck with Grace and Calm for it, as in, you know, if I don't have one, I can't use the other. This will go with a million different ones you've got, and more importantly, with every single card shape that you've bought from Carnation, especially those circular ones or your ovals. Imagine them on an oval card shape on either side of your oval would just be just stunning. You can imagine how much I've been playing with these, and so I love, love, love it. But I want to show you this because, only because it's magic and I like magic, I just want to show you some alternatives. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that beautiful? So the pinks and the oranges coming together, and you can see these aren't even the same collections. So this is what I mean. This isn't Grace and Calm. If you see just that touch of orange that comes through on that lily with those pinks, we're bringing it all together. You've got your orange and your pinks. Just beautiful. And then this one, look at that. I love that. Those colours. It pops so much for me, that card. And then, ooh, two more. I'm going to need the front-facing camera, Taz. Don't you huff and puff at me. Look at him. Look at this. She's getting to it, guys. We're very old. Miss Colour, professional as always. Yay. I don't know, but Christine says I was professional. See? No, I am. Look at this wee fish. Look. So this is the Water's Edge collection. So this is what I'm saying about him coming in with all the other collections that you've got, because it's really easy when we see things demos to think, oh, well, it needs to be kind of done that way. But actually, you know, when we start to think about drawing them in with other collections, we can really make a lot of them. And I was talking to Mark on the phone earlier today. So I think it was last week, I was on Create and Craft with Perfect Accessories. It's the first time I'd done Perfect Accessories. And then I saw loads of you using Perfect Accessories in the group, which was just amazing, because bear in mind, I wasn't around when that first came out, so I haven't really seen you guys using it much. And I want to just start maybe bringing out random dies every now and again and having a look at crafting with them, because Carnation are, if they're anti anything, they're anti you buying it and leaving it in a cupboard. We want to play and make and create and be, and they don't all have to be cards. I did a whole wall this morning next to me, which you can't see, but there is a whole wall here of this where I was just playing because Taz was busy and she wasn't entertaining me, so I was left with some pins, and so I just created some fun this morning to entertain myself, basically. And that's the point, isn't it? It's that whole thing of just being able to play. That could be a box, it could be, you know, any number of things for us to be able to create and do home decor and all of those. And then this morning I discovered this card, and actually while I was on air I discovered what it did. And I was a little bit excited. This is stunning. I mean, it's stunning anyway, right? There's just something particularly beautiful about this. But when we go and we... Look at the fishes move! The fishes move! Everybody, the fish move. Look at the fish. They move. Look. Now, I didn't make this and I don't know how to make it. I'd like to tell you I've got the skills. I don't. But somebody will know how to make it. But look how clever that is and how beautiful that is. And isn't it nice to have a card that we can, you know, interact and play with? I love that so much. So I'm going to have a chat with Miss Janine, who made it, the lovely, lovely head of DT, and see if she'll share her secrets with me. And if I can find out, then maybe we can come back at some point and make this. But this is just awesome. Carla, could you do a demo on the card on this one, please? I would love to, Mary, but I don't know the answers. So we'll find out from Miss Janine and we will create this and I'll show you how to make it. I believe it will have something to do with a brad pin somewhere inside it, which would allow it to rotate. But we'll work it out. But just absolutely stunning, isn't it? I can't take it to pieces because I'll get into lots of trouble. So we're going to do another demo and we're going to do that with the Grace and Calm collection. But I do just want to reiterate that you'll be able to find all of this on our website. The website is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. The artwork that you find will be under the tab Downloads that you can just see and then Free Downloads. When you click onto free downloads, there are ways that you can pick and choose which collection you want. So you can see it there. You can just type in, we're going for Grace and Calm. Now, while we're on the website and we're just having a look, if you go slowly for me, Taz, you'll see there's all kinds of things on here. So there's the blossoms and all the rest of it. Somewhere on there, it will say Grace and Calm collection. There you go. Original colourway download. It's in the middle at the bottom. Can you see it, Taz, next to the backing papers there? So that's completely free. Just download that one and download your free backing papers while you're there because you may as well. And there's your inserts just below as well. So get those as well. They're the 3 that you want to download. Once you've got them to your computer, go to your downloads folder and right click, select open with and select open with Adobe and it will open up and you can print them. When you print them on best quality. If you can, then print them on Pro Print paper. Pro Print paper will give you the best results that you can possibly get. Some of those vignettes will have a black line across the middle and they are for your double-sided vignettes, which all of us at Carnation Crafts know are just amazing to use. And when you talk to the crafters in the Carnation Crafters Facebook group, they'll tell you the same, that they are just very useful. So it means with something like the fish, where we've got the imagery, the artwork on this side of the fish here, when I turn him around, it's on the back as well. So that means for a lot of these dies, you get double for your money because I could have them facing opposing ways. You know, you can totally... Oh, I've got a pink and an orange one together, I think there. That's exciting. It wouldn't be pink and orange on one side. I've just got 2 fish together, just so you know. But it means you can mirror them, so you can have, you know, 2 at once. Very, very useful. So get those downloaded. Right, let's play. Let's play. It's craft time. Enough talking. Let's do some stuff. So this is the... What is it?
Gatefold.
Gateway goat...
No goats are involved.
This is the goat card.
Gateway.
It's a little goat and he's called Elliot and he plays on the hills and he is not lonely, nor is his goat herd. Now I'm just going to place this on here and I'm just going to then show you on the die. So this outside die that you've got here, the very largest one, I have cut that and you can see as it goes all the way around and it's got the curves here and it goes round. It's an exact replica of that shape. That's your card base. It cuts out these lines for you that you see and it scores it for you too. So it's completely done. You don't have to do anything with that. As a crafter, that's always useful. I'm going to try not to destroy this. And then once we have got this in place, you've got these elements that we can stick on side. You don't have to. I could cut those off. I've got the lines, I could just cut them and just use this inside piece. If I was to use the inside piece, I would have cut that twice and I would have scored along the top and I would have used my red liner tape to put one together to create a temp base. But because this will stand on its own, I don't need to. It's important when we're using something, especially something like this. This is going to be really, really, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say vulnerable because you don't have that solid tent base. So you must cut that in a thick quality cardstock. I do use Carnation Crafts Super Smooth 350 GSM. What I will say to you is, if you don't have that, and it's not something that you want to purchase, make sure you're using a thick cardstock. If you do it in anything less, it's going to waft over when anybody walks past. And I can tell you that for absolutely fact because I've destroyed the set about 16 times this morning. But we won't repeat that while Mark's watching. And then I'm just going to place this on here. I love this very muted colour. It's like it's almost sort of a pink biscuit colour. I don't really know how to describe it better than that. I always say that, but digestives, they're not really this colour, are they? And a bourbon isn't. Like a pink wafer. Yeah. I used to love those, but they make you cough a bit if you swallow it wrong. And then I'm going to place this on here. Oh, I really want a pink wafer now.
Yeah, me too.
Do you want a pink wafer as well? I don't think I've got them because I don't think... Do they still exist? Can you still buy pink wafers?
I'm going to be really upset if you don't.
Oh, I like a pink wafer. And then I'm going to place this here. Somebody said, where would you put the lady so she's not floating? But I can't find the question now. Shell pink, Sue. Yes, you're quite right. It is like a shell. That's better than a pink wafer. It was me that came up with pink wafer. I don't know why you're looking upset with yourself. When we're doing the lady, so something like this, if you've got the lady and she's here, what we need is a grounding device. So the way that we've done the grounding device on this one, I say we as if I've made this card and I absolutely haven't. So thank you. I believe it's a Janine. Yeah. So where you've got this line that comes across, that works in itself as the grounding device because you've got that line. It makes sense that she's there. Now, if that had been lower and she was above, it would look absolutely mad because she would literally just be floating. Now, there's ways and means you can get around it. First of all, one way, without putting anything else underneath her, is purposefully to place this curve that you've got on the arm, the sleeve, around this curve. It would make sense. It would allow it to make sense. And then you would sort of, where that comes out, you would have that going around the sentiment. Does that make sense? So it would sweep and there'd be a reason for it. There would be a purpose for it. If, however, you don't have that and you're going to place her higher up, then your likely thing would be to do something along the lines of taking some florals. At some point, obviously you'd snip those away, but you'd take some florals, no matter where she was on the card, and if you put those at the bottom, the straight edge of the florals will give you a grounding device. So it will stop her looking like she's just appeared, like the ghost book that I'm reading at the minute, but not when I'm on my own, because it's a bit scary. And then I'm going to place this, those muted tones, and sometimes, you know, I love all the brights. I'm big on bright coloured cards. They please me no end. But sometimes the muted ones are often the most delicate and the, you know, very, very pretty. And we need both, I think. There's a place for both. Now, you'll notice on these, I say I'm using muted colours. And on top of that, I'm using very low foam tape, which you know is not at all my general style. But if you, it's a bit like wearing a ballet dress with some Doc Martens. Sometimes one thing just doesn't go with the other. So if I am to do this and I've got these very toned down muted colours, it's very pretty, it's very, very delicate. I don't want to suddenly push the boundaries with this majorly thick chunky card because it would be incongruent. So I'm sticking to the lower panels here. I've still got some foam tape. I do still get a little bit of shadow, but it is only a 1mm, so I'm not pushing any limits. So it keeps it within the right balance, if that makes sense. And I think, you know, it's just something to think about when you're using colour. If you're going for the very, very delicate, maybe then your layers need to be slightly more delicate too. We've got the beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous filigree panel, I suppose you would call it. Now, what I've done with this one is instead of using white, so you can see I've got my white card as my base. Instead of using that, can you see how that's a different colour? So this is done using the blush papers that Carnation do, and this is the natural one. I always want to call it vanilla, and that is not its name. But this one, where it's sort of that just soft colour, I'm just breaking down some of this tone here. So we're just mellowing it out. We are just where if I put a bright white on there, it would be stark. I would love it because it would have that gorgeous stark contrast, but sometimes just a hint of something will just soothe it, is the best way I can think of phrasing that. So we're going in delicate. This might be the only time you ever see me make a very, very delicate card, but I just want to prove that I can. So I'm going in here with my glues. We said earlier about the applicators for Carnation, the fact that they've changed them recently, so they've got the much longer, much finer brush on them, so we can get into these tiny little places, and it just means we can go in with the more delicate vignettes that we've got. I'm going to cross this through, so it's going to sit on the floor, so I've got that grounding device. This petal is going to live in this curve, so it's specifically done, and this is going to come just off this edge, and that is so that when it stands we've still got a bit of something, and I'm going to mirror it at this side. And again, the joy of having these dies is obviously I can shape it that way, so I still need this flower to match this flower, so it lives in that curve, and this is going to live slightly off the top. So it's just those visual aspects that we're doing. We're making sense of the space, and we're utilising as much of it as we possibly can, and it just keeps it in place. So the bits of glue that I'm using specifically, I'm only using them on the bottom half. I'm not using on the top half because that will just give some shadowing. So I'm watching where that flower is there. Oh, my arm's in the way. I'm watching where that one is, and I'm going to match it across. So I know it's roughly central. We take that, place, and I'm making sure that that one flower is sticking off the edge there. And it might seem pedantic, but it's those finishing visuals that make it a difference, because it's it's completely symmetrical. What that does is gives me a line, a visual line across my card, and that means I can work in that space and I can draw the eye into it. It's just a way of breaking up your space. We're going to go in with some bamboo because it's pretty. And I can't believe I've got so much glue on my ball tool. Let's have a look. This is, where do you get the mouse with the fishing rod from, Carla? No, the mouse isn't from Water's Edge. The fishing rod is from Water's Edge. The mouse is just one of the mice of the many, and I cannot sit here and name you them because I haven't got a clue. But it's one of the mice from one of the collections. Any of the mice would do, so long as it's in an appropriate pose to hold something, and you can just use that with that fishing rod. And the whole point of Carnation is that you can do that we can cross those different collections. Where do I buy my foam tape I'm using? So this is a question that comes up all the time because I don't craft with normal foam tape, and I know it's a frustration for many people, but I can't give you a specific place. I know that people have found it on Amazon. I know that people have found it on various different sites. I buy mine from glazers. So I get them locally from people who do window glazing, and it's just a glazer's tape for your windows. But it just comes in, I can get it in 1mm, 3mm, 5mm and 10mm, and that means I can use them. So if you've already said, but did you use the ball tool on the flower at the end of the Wisteria? Not this time, Sue. I would have if I'd have wanted that rise, but I want it to lay flat. I'm not after the major chunk on these, so I'm quite happy with it where it is. I want the bamboo, I want stillness. I want to create stillness, not shadow. I will bring some shadow in when I start to do what I would class as the showstopper in the middle. But for this section alone, I'm happy with it being just flat. I don't want the movement. Now, normally I am, as you know, the biggest sort of proponent of all movement, but I want to look at the fan. So I love this. I think this is so pretty. And obviously, if you've got 2, you've got semicircle. If you've got 4, you would have a complete circle. So that helps. So what I can do is fold. Now I was saying you could probably concertina this, and I haven't got time to do it right now, but I reckon you could probably, if you took the time, go in and actually concertina that like a proper fan. Oh, there's some queer noises coming from outside this door, Miss Taz. Did you hear that? Sounded like a dog scratching, but I don't have a dog here. Now, you can see you can get the shape with this. You can see you can get that ruffled edge with it, which is really, really pretty, and that creates that shell shape. But what I want to do more specifically with it is raise it, because I want to get the lift. How come your white glue doesn't go off by leaving it in the air? Mine does. Oh no, mine does too. If we look at this one, which was this morning's, it's got a super thick skin on it. Oh, I'm stuck to it. So you see, it just gets a skin on it, and that one will have a skin very soon as well. I just add more to it as I'm going. I only use tiny amounts. So what I'm going to do with this is, where I've got this bottom piece of the fan, I'm just going to use my finger inside, and I'm going to create a cone around my finger. And I'm just going to hold it and place it. And then release, and I've got this beautiful, can you see that shape in now? Really pretty, isn't it? And I'm just going to take the tail end of that and pull so it lays upwards, and I'm going to use that as my main holding point on the fan, and then I can create that beautiful shaping that comes from it. Now it won't hold itself fully like that, so what I will then do is put pin flare inside here that will raise it, and it will keep it raised. So really, really beautiful. Hey Sheila, how you doing? I'm very glad you could join us. I've got my Facebook so I can see people. I feel very empowered. So I'm just going to place this probably about here, about mid-air. And then I'll just, now I've marked where I'm going, place my pin flare in. Now can you see how I'm going on the bottom here, and I'm raising, but I don't want any on my top piece at all. I still want that lift. So let's go where we placed our placement, place it down gently, and then I'm just going to push just a little. And that pin flare is going to hold in place, but I'm still going to, I can get my full finger down there, so I've still got that beautiful placement. Now if I was working with a different collection, I could add in blooms from there and they would cascade out. I could add in all sorts. We were talking earlier about grounding devices. Now obviously that fan is just sitting in the middle of nowhere, and that's what we mean about grounding devices, because it looks odd, right? There's an oddity about it. You would never have something like that just floating. It just would look odd. I'm just going to take a little, have I got my snips? Watch me ruin this whole thing. I'm just going to snip this and just release it. See if I can do it. Just there. I'm going to tuck that one back under and put that one over, just to give it a bit of lift. I might just get rid of that extra bit. This is what we're doing when we're composing, because you're just trying to get your best fit. I don't want to lose my dome. I'd rather lose a couple of flowers than I would my dome. So we're lifting and lifting. So it is in midair. I want to sort that out. I can't sit with it like that. It's going to look extraordinarily odd. So now we go in with the ball tool. And all I'm doing is taking 2 of the hairpins, and I'm going to take a ball tool that hasn't got glue over the end of it, and I'm just going to use that to shape, and I'm following the lines of that hairpin and of that little piece of filigree that goes, and then of the tassel. So we're getting that shape coming through, and it got that dome, and you can see the difference. I mean, when you've got the 2 together, it finishes it, right? There's something about it. Sheila, you've just finished work. Ooh, it's Friday. It's Friday. We love Friday. And we're going to go in here. I've got to go bowling tomorrow, like one of those people that is bowling, and I can't remember the last time I did that. So, and I don't even know how to play it. All I know is you throw a ball down a chute, and it knocks things over at the end.
Yeah, so you get a ball, roll it down the alley.
So you don't throw it.
Please don't throw it. Gently roll it well.
So you just roll it. So why do I see people doing a fancy foot move where they do like a whoof?
Sorry, can we do that again, please? What did you do?
Like a whoof. They do like a fancy foot move and then and they look really profesh, because I need to do that so that I look profesh when I'm doing my whole bowling thing.
You can have the barriers up as well.
Does that help me? Is that what they said about having, when I had the children, I could have a bumper if I wanted one?
Yeah, the bumpers.
They didn't offer it for me. They just said he could have it for the children. Which was quite rude, because, I feel like it's giving them an unfair advantage. And obviously,
I mean...
What? They're going to thrash me anyway.
Yeah.
You've met my children. They're savage. Savage. Competitive. You've just played I Spy with them and they whooped us both.
Oh, scared.
I'm just going to place these here. So you've got the movement coming out of the fan from that ribbon, and now we have a reason for it to be domed. We have a reason for it to be sitting at the bottom. We've drawn our eye in, so we've got the larger white space at the top. So what we're essentially doing, and often when we're making cards on a composition piece, what we do is create a funnel. So you're creating a large white piece at the top, and then you're coming inwards and you're drawing the eye down, and that's going to give you the perspective that you're looking for. With this particular card shape, you can bend your side pieces forwards, or you can bend them back. So you can have it as a stand either way. It depends. If you choose not to use the added pieces here or the filigree, it looks quite nice on the behind, if you like. So you're putting it back as a stand. It depends which way you want to play it. Taz, can I lift this? Is that okay? And stand it? Is that going to ruin your view? And I just place it there. Is that okay? Can you see that?
Yeah, I'm into it.
Are you on the move with it? Do you want like my computer case? There was a big debate and I love it, and my boss said I need to change it. I'm not changing it. I like it. Look at that. So when we're going muted, try and do things that are less impactful. So, keep your mats and layers more muted. You don't need to do the massive thick foam tape. So like I say, that comparison of wearing a ballet dress with some big heavy boots is, I probably would do that, but the majority of people would wear small shoes with a very pretty dress. And I think that's what I mean is about keeping sometimes the impact, the less impact, the more impact, if that makes any kind of sense. It does in my head. So yeah, that is the Grace and Calm collection. Honestly, if you can get hold of this, you're going to use it. But more importantly, when you get this home and you start to look at it, have a look at how you can do it on the individual pieces and how you bring those into your other collections too. Because things like the ribbon, the fan, all of those things, those corner elements are going to be used on any card you make. It wouldn't matter whether it was for Grace or Calm or whether it was for something else. Now, just to keep you notified, we are launching on Monday and Man Alive. You know how when we brought out, I think it was Nature's Grace, and it was those really big, beautiful birds, and there was something just pinpoint special. You wait till you see this collection. So we go live with it on Monday. We'll announce the £500 winners on Monday as well. And I will see you at 3 p.m, hopefully on Sunday. And I'll do you a sneak peek of the new collection, Nature in Motion. But I'll be doing that from my craft room rather from the studio. So it'll be where I'm sat with a brew probably. I have had such a lovely day today. Honestly, I love it when you join me. It's so great to have your company. I hope it was okay, and I hope those demos have helped. Lovely, lovely, lovely to speak to you. More importantly, have a really lovely weekend. Try and eat some pink wafers, because I think if we all do that collectively, good things might happen in our lives. So I love you all very much. Have a really lovely weekend. You take really good care of yourselves, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye. Bye.